You're tuned in to Voiced Thoughts Talk Show and Podcast, a forum where we discuss and explore society-based topics while advocating and providing information and resources to the community through an unscripted, unfiltered, and authentic approach. Listen on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and Apple Music. Watch us on YouTube. Join our Facebook group. Follow us on social media, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Voiced Thoughts Talk Show and Podcast, your society-based channel. Welcome to another episode of Voiced Thoughts Talk Show and Podcast. I'm your host, and my name is Danette Mahabeer-Turner, Mrs. Kentucky Petite USA 2025. I am super honored to be the state title holder representing the entire state of Kentucky in the Petite USA Organization National Pageant in Chicago, Illinois this July. Before we get into today's episode, I want to take the time out to highlight the sponsors. Our title sponsor, Goodwill Opportunity Center, located at 1601 Broadway Street. Goodwill Opportunity Center helps individuals remove barriers to self-sufficiency, enabling their clients to overcome challenges and achieve their goals through support that is personalized to their clients' needs. Or episode sponsor, Soul Wellness. Your wellness journey begins here. For more details, visit their website, www.shelleyoneilwellness.com. You can watch Voice Thoughts Talk Show and Podcast on YouTube. You can listen on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Music. Join our Facebook group, and of course, like our Facebook page. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Voice Thoughts Talk Show and Podcast. The moment you guys have been waiting for, Season 4, Episode 9. Today's topic is Pageant to Purpose. And as you can see, there are two beautiful queens sitting in front of you if you're watching us on YouTube. And it is my greatest pleasure to have Nyla Holder, Teen Kentucky Petite USA 2025, on today's episode. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, you are so stunning.
Thank
you. You know, I don't think it's any coincidence that I put this feeler out there and found you and found that we're both representing the state of Kentucky, but we're both from Paducah, Kentucky.
It's definitely a blessing from God.
So you're in the teen category.
Yes.
How does that feel?
I am so excited about it. I have been watching the system for a little bit now. A lot of people have recommended it to me, and I'm super glad that I now get to experience it.
Wow. So I want to kind of get into your primary journey into pageantry before we get deeper into the Petite USA organization, because obviously you've been doing this for a little bit, right? So can you share your journey into pageantry and what inspired you to compete in Teen Kentucky Petite USA category?
Absolutely. So obviously beforehand, I was familiar with pageants. I was a model from the age of 4 on.
Wow.
So I'm a model for pageant girl, but I was seeing photo shoots with this girl, and I've been best friends with her for a long time. And we were talking about it, and she was handing down her title within the month. And she goes, "You should definitely try to do it, just spontaneous spur of the moment." So of course, I was like, you know what? I'll be there with my friends, and it'll be a unique experience. It's just something I could do, and so I did. I did it, and even though I went into this thinking that it was going to be a extremely competitive, kind of toxic environment, I was so in shock about how wrong I was. These were the most supportive girls that I am still friends with.
Wow.
7 years later.
That is amazing.
They are the nicest girls I've ever met.
And so talk about sisterhood, right?
Amen. That was amazing, life-changing. Honestly, I still talk to every girl I've competed in the pageant with. They are all just the sweetest people. So whenever I first competed, I made first runner-up, which I was extremely shocked because I didn't think I knew what I was doing, but by the grace of God, it definitely spurred that excitement in me and that need to just want more. So a few months later, I took time to train myself and, understand what I am doing, compete and win, and then won my very first Kentucky title.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yes. And you mentioned a little bit about your initial perception, right, of pageantry. But how has that changed over the years for you?
Yes, so like I said, I originally thought this being the most competitive place to be, toxic,
right,
just kind of degrading women as they are. But again, I was extremely wrong, and I don't shame anybody who thinks that because I was there too, but look at me now.
Right.
I think this is the most uplifting thing that a girl can do for herself.
I love that.
Like I said, going in there, they're not as critical as people try to make them seem and as bad as people make them seem. These places, I'm truly the happiest I've ever been. I go there, I might have a little insecurity, I come out, like it never
feel very
happened.
confident.
My self-esteem is out there. I feel so good about myself. I'm walking on clouds for the next month, 2 months.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So the theme of our episode today, as you know, is pageant to purpose, right?
Mhm.
And when it comes to pageantry, especially the Petite USA organization, they're all about purpose, right? What does that phrase mean to you personally?
So I have always told myself, if you're going to do something, do a little bit of purpose in yourself. Do it with motivation and have pep in your step when you do so. So in my opinion, to do that, the key thing is confidence. And I always say confidence is key. If you know me, you know. And so
I love that.
I think that in today's world, with how bad society can be and how bad social media can be, if you were to go find one of my pages or me personally, I try my best to be as positive and uplifting. And honestly, I want people to come to me and feel good about themselves. Not have to worry like, oh, she might judge me for this, or oh, I just don't feel that good about myself right now. I don't think I can. No, I think that for my purpose is to be here to help young women, teenagers. I feel is where it's really at right now, and I want girls my age. I'm a teenager. I've been through it. I have my own insecurities. I don't want any girl to really feel like that because it's undeserving. No girl deserves to feel that insecure. So my purpose is to give girls that inspiration to feel good about themselves.
That is your platform.
Absolutely.
And I mean, you embrace that so well.
Thank you.
I felt every word you said because you're very passionate about it, as you mentioned. So good job on that passion and purpose, right?
Thank you.
All right. So what platform, cause, or mission are you more passionate about? So you mentioned, women empowerment, confidence. How are you using your title to support that?
So my platform is Free Little Libraries, but I feel at the end everything comes together. I'm full of surprises, so I have a bunch of little things that I love to support, but my main and my home will always be my Free Little Libraries. I believe education is a very strong thing that people need today. So I really want to work with literacy. So my Free Little Library, Take a Book, Leave a Book, is located at our local intermediate school, and it's located 24/7. Anybody can come to it, doesn't matter. And something popular in our area is AR books. I'm sure with your daughter, you've definitely heard about AR points.
Yes.
And so whenever I was in elementary school, I struggled so hard with getting those AR points in. And if you don't know what AR points is, you have to read a book, take a test, and you get so many points, and you get rewarded for those points, which for an elementary schooler is everything.
Oh, yes. So, she will be in the car at night. She's like, I need to get my AR points. So it's a good motivator.
It is. So if you look at my library, it is mostly AR points, located mostly just for elementary schoolers, but there's obviously high school books in there because, older siblings, gotta make sure they feel loved too. And so I want to share that literacy and give children the opportunity to have that book. And let's say you pick out that book and you love it. It's your favorite book now, you keep it. You can have that book. It's all yours. And later, let's say I have a basket of books. I really need to get rid of these. My Free Little Library. I am always open to take them. If the library is full, find my Instagram, DM me, and I am more than welcome to come take those books off.
And we're going to get that information here shortly so you can share that with our audience where they can find you and support you as well. How do you hope to use your voice and title to inspire other teens?
So, like I said previously, I'm a teenage girl. I've had my insecurities and I've had my downs, and I've been through a whirlwind of different emotions. And I have to say, it's probably the most degrading thing that a woman can feel. So I want to try my best to mitigate that with other teenage girls or other women, because it's not a good feeling, and nobody really truly deserves to feel that way. So by talking to girls my age and just my friends in general as well, just uplifting them and telling them, like, God made you the way he wanted you. He has a purpose with you and with your life. He's going to lead you down the right path. So honestly, keep with your faith and never doubt yourself. I promise you, you're gorgeous.
Aw, I love that. I'm so proud of you. You're making such a big change in the world. The world needs you. And I'm just so grateful that you're using pageantry to enforce and emphasize your purpose. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So before we get any further, now we're going to talk a little bit about the Petite USA organization. For those of you who don't know, there are certain states where there's not a pageant competition, and Kentucky happens to be one of those. So people might have heard, for example, if you've been watching this show ever since I announced that I am the appointed, that keyword appointed state title holder for Kentucky, you're probably wondering what is appointed. So we're going to have Nyla share her experience about how she became the appointed. What was that process like when you applied and got that, that you're in the semifinals, just all about that. So you applied, and just tell us a little bit about your journey.
Yeah, so I was at the time dealing with my college classes. So I was heavy studying, and my mom came in the room. She goes, "Stop." And I was like, "Who died? Like, what happened? Like, what do you mean?" Because she was so serious about this. So she goes, "Petite USA is having their forms for you to sign up." And I'm like, "When? Now?" And she goes, "Yes, we got to do it right now." So I'm like, okay. So I dropped my essay. I dropped everything I could at the moment, and we started writing it out. And honestly, I love having a pageant for, state, but I also love this way of doing it as well, because as I'm going through and answering all these questions, it's like a reflection of who I am and how far I've come.
Yes.
Because at one point, if you had told me a few years ago today that I would be competing in another pageant, I probably would have laughed at you and been like, "Girl, get out of here." I honestly would have, because, again, we all have our downs, and I was going through a really tough down. I thought I was going to be done with them. So honestly, just seeing me get here to this milestone I thought I'd never be at, it was so grateful, and I'm so happy that I could have done it.
That is amazing. So how are you preparing? I'm just being nosy now. Okay, guys, we're in two different divisions, and for those of you who may be inspired by this episode and wanting to compete for the 2026 title, Nyla and myself, especially if you're in the Paducah area or surrounding cities, like, we would love to help you, get into that role for the next competition. But I'm just being a little bit nosy, because we do have our own private Facebook group for the Mrs. division, which is, my category. You're in the teen division, and there's 3 other categories out there. How are you preparing for the different categories, your outfit, just getting ready for nationals? That's like in a month and some for Chicago. Like, how are you feeling? How are you preparing for that?
I am so excited. Every day gets closer. I'm like, oh my gosh. I know. I'm super, super excited. So I spend a lot of my time really just focusing on what my flaws are. So with evening gown, sometimes I get so nervous and I like to speed myself up. So I've adjusted the way I actually walk in my heels so that I am forced to slow myself down. No matter how nervous I get, or what the stage is looking like, or what is getting in my head, or the music, I'm at that same pace. And I'm fixing myself. I'm also a pageant coach. So honestly, going over all of that stuff truly does help me get a better grip and understanding of what I'm doing. What else is there? There's interview, public speaking. This is my practice right now.
There you go.
I love interview. I love to talk to couldn't tell. So sometimes, it's good just, face down and get the grip of what you're trying to talk about and keep going on.
I love that. I really wish you the best in nationals.
So
my goodness. I love that for you. And if you're available, and I know we haven't released the date yet, but at the end of every season for Voice Thoughts, we do have a recap. That's a wrap, like recap party. We invite all the guests who's been on the show, all the sponsors who made it possible, the compact partners. So we'd love for you to be a part of that. And it will be right here at the Goodwill Opportunity Center, because they are the title sponsor for season 4.
Well, I'd absolutely love to be a part of that.
Yes, definitely. Before you go, I wanted to ask you if you could give advice to a young girl who feels she doesn't fit traditional molds and want to make a difference, what would you tell her?
Traditional molds are not a thing. There is no mold for the perfect girl. She does not exist. The perfect girl is your soul, who you aspire to be. That's the perfect girl who has determination and drive. So if you want to compete in the pageant, nobody is stopping you. You go out there and you show them who you are, and you put your full faith and your first foot forward, and you do the best you can. That is the perfect mold, and that is the perfect girl. So don't let anybody tell you differently, and don't think anything differently. If you want to do it, you do it, but you make sure you do your best, and confidence is key.
True.
To make yourself look the absolute best you can.
Wow. Look at you go, little Miss Coach. All right. So I want to ask you this, though. I know you talk about like slowing down when you're walking and different things like that. Is there any other go-to confidence booster before stepping on stage? Like before you get on the stage? What helps to boost it? You talk about confidence, you talk about your walk, you talk about being a coach, but what is your go-to booster for that confidence that you mentioned?
I am boosting my confidence all the time, 24/7. And this is how I did it. If you had talked to me a year ago, I'm not the same person. That's not me because of my circle and who I hang around with. I surround myself with people who I inspire to be, or people who I know are going to bring me closer to my faith and my walk to Christ, or
I love that.
Overall just really positive. Also, if you catch me in the back rooms, any of the girls, if you're watching something with you and you see me with AirPods in and I'm blasting some kind of country music or upbeat pop, just ignore me. I'm doing my own thing. But that's also a huge thing to get me excited is, music that I truly enjoy and like and makes me feel so good about myself. Because let's be honest, what you hear really affects how you feel. So I'm not going to sit here and listen to some, my depressing music. I'm going to listen to my upbeat, be happy, sit there and chat with the girls, be upbeat about everything. I've been to nationals plenty of times, and every single time, my favorite thing to do with the girls is we'll all stand in front of a mirror, we'll say one word, and we'll go around and see how each state says it differently. And I think that's super neat. And it just makes your mind up the competition, makes you feel good about yourself, and you're sitting here connecting with your friends in your competition, which I think's wonderful. I absolutely love it.
I love that. Well, before you go, what legacy do you want to leave during your reign as Team Kentucky Petite USA?
When people hear my name and they hear Kentucky Petite in the name, I want them to think of, wow, I feel a lot better about myself. Because either if you haven't had a conversation with me or you heard me talk, I want you to feel so good about yourself afterwards because you truly understood what I was saying and you took that into accountability. I want you to advocate for girls who don't feel good about themselves. I want to advocate for literacy for children. And so when people think of me, I want to be like, yeah, she changed this for me. She changed me for the better. She really, truly changed this.
That is so lovely.
I want anyone to think that about me. I want people to feel like and be like, she was super positive. She did her best. And I want other people to do that too. I want you to do your best. I want you to have that positivity. I want you to lead on. But I'm advocating. I want you to do it for other people.
I love that.
Other people, not just girls, boys too. They also need some love and affection. I want everybody to feel their best self because everybody deserves that.
I love that. Now, before you go, tell the people where they can follow your journey on Instagram, Facebook, your socials, and all of that.
So my Instagram, which is probably where you find most of all of this, is model_Nyla, model_NYLA, all lowercase. My TikTok is, again, just my name, Nyla Holder, which would also be found under Nyla Dawn, DAWN, which there is just, being a teenage girl posting cute little videos. And then my Facebook is just my name.
Nyla Holder. Right. Okay. It has been a great pleasure having you on this episode of Voice Thoughts Talk Show and Podcast. And I know you're busy. You're finishing up with all the schoolwork and getting ready for summer and getting ready for nationals. And so thank you so much for jumping onto my talk show here and, just from queen to queen, pageant to purpose. And I really, truly enjoyed you being here. And I wish you nothing but the best in nationals, and I whatever I can do to support you from now till nationals, you let me know.
Absolutely.
You have my biggest support.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much for inviting me on this today. I would have made time at all for you. I'm always going to be open for you. So thank you. And again, if you need anything before nationals, just hit me up.
Sisterhood right here, y'all. But before we go, I want to take the time out one more time to say thank you to our sponsors. Our title sponsor, Goodwill Opportunity Center, and they help individuals to remove barriers to self-sufficiency, enabling their clients to overcome challenges and achieve their goals through support that's personalized to their clients' needs. Visit them at 1601 Broadway Street, Paducah, Kentucky. Our episode sponsor is So Wellness. Your wellness journey begins here. Visit their website for more information at www.shelleyoneilwellness.com. Again, you can watch Voice Thoughts Talk Show and Podcast on YouTube. You can listen on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and Apple Music. Join our Facebook group. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Voice Thoughts Talk Show and Podcast. I have been your host. My name is Danette Mahabeer-Turner, Mrs. Kentucky Petite USA 2025. I will see you on the next episode. God bless.